Hello friends, this is Durga again from IT Varsity. So as of now we are discussing about setting up Cloudera distribution of Hadoop on a single node server which is provisioned from public cloud so that we can practice the development stuff to explore more and more about the Hadoop ecosystem. So in this, once you set up the Cloudera manager, you have to log in using 7180 port number using the public DNS or public IP, and you will see this screen for the first time, and you have to accept the end user license terms and conditions. Click on continue, and you can take either Cloudera Express or Cloudera Enterprise Data Hub Edition trial, which is for 60 days. After that, it will automatically change to Cloudera Express. So I will start with this one, Cloudera Enterprise Data Hub Edition trial. Hit on continue, and then all these tools will be installed as part of this effort on this single node server which is provisioned from the public cloud providers. Click on continue. Here we have to give the IP address. We should give the private IP address, which is this one. As we have only one host, we need to provide only one private IP here, .ec2.internal. That is the actual host name. You can get those details by running host name -f. So this this host name will be different, or the format of the host name will be different depending upon the public provider from which you have provisioned the server. Okay, so use this one to copy paste here, and then click on search. It will be able to identify that server, and then click on continue. Here we will be using package. You can use either packages or parcels. I'll be using parcels, and we'll be getting the latest version of CDH, and whatever it will install by default, we will use the same things here. No need to change anything here. Click on continue, and here we don't want to install Oracle Java SE development kit. As we installed Cloudera Manager earlier, it will be installed. It is already there. You can validate by running yum list installed grep -i JDK to see if JDK is installed or not. Okay, JDK is not installed. Let's choose this. I think JDK is not installed. Let's choose this, and if it fails, then we will disable that. Here, don't use single user mode. Just leave as is. Hit on continue. Okay, for some reason it is not moving forward. Continue. Yeah, now it is working. So if you are using any other user, you can click on another user, and if you know the password of that user, just give the username here. I will be using root only. If you want to use the password, just choose this one and enter the password in both these things, the same password. If you are using private key, as I am doing now, choose the all hosts accept same private key. Click on browse, and go to the location where we have our PEM file. So our PEM file is actually in .ec2 directory, but I have created in my home directory also so that I can access it, because .ec2 is a hidden directory and it will not be able we will not be able to choose from here. For that, I have copied cdh54.pem to this home directory, which is D Gadiraju on my Mac. So choose this one and hit on continue. Click on OK, and now it will start installing the CDH and also Cloudera Manager agent for you. So Hadoop as well as the Cloudera Manager agent, which will actually gather statistics from the host and send it to the Cloudera Manager, which will provide you in the visualization layer. Once the setup is done, you will understand the role of each of those things. So now the installation is done. You can click on continue. So it will download all the parcels and it will try to set up the CDH for you. It will take a while to download, distribute, unpack and activate them. Okay, once it is done, I will resume. So it is downloaded, distributed, unpacked and activated. So once it is done, you have to click on continue. Okay, it will run host inspector and it should not throw any errors. You can see here everything is clean. Click on finish. Now the software is downloaded and installed. Okay, now we have to configure what all components we need to have, and then we have to configure most of these tools. Okay, so here I'll be deploying these things core with Spark, which have HDFS, Yarn, Zookeeper, Woozy, Hive, Hue and Spark, and later we can add other tools also, such as HBase, Impala, Solar, etc., whatever is required. Or we can also choose custom services and decide what all tools we want to have. We want to have HDFS, Zookeeper, Yarn. We want to have, we don't want to use Scoop 2 at this time. Spark I want, Woozy, because these are all required for one or the other labs. Impala, Hue, Hive, HBase. So we will not be setting up the rest of the stuff such as Isilon, key value store indexer, MapReduce, Solar, Scoop 2, etc. And also I don't want to set up Cloudera Navigator as part of the Cloudera management service. Cloudera management service is primarily to manage the cluster using tools such as the Reports Manager, Active Monitor, etc., which you will understand in a moment. And then hit on continue. In this we have only one node, so we don't need to modify most of the things. Everything will be deployed on one node. Okay, so just you can click on continue. You don't need to set up anything. Here when it comes to databases, we need a database for Hive, we need a database for Reports Manager, and we need a database for Woozy server, and we want to use MySQL database for all those things. So we want to use custom database here, and I want to have a Hive database, Arman database and Woozy as the database names, only these things, Woozy, and then Hive user, Arman user and Woozy user, and the password is, I want to use ITversity for all the users as the password. But to use MySQL, we have to change here to MySQL. We don't want to set up on Postgres. We already installed the MySQL earlier before actually setting up the cluster. You can go back to the video which shows how to set up the MySQL, and then port number for MySQL is 3306. So we need to use the same thing for everything. But we have installed MySQL earlier. We did not set up the databases such as Hive, Arman and Woozy, and also we did not create users such as Hive _user, Arman _user and Woozy _user. Now we have to take care of those things. So for that we have to connect to MySQL database as root, and then create database Hive, create user Hive _user identified by ITversity, and then grant all on hive.star to Hive _user, which means that we are granting permissions on everything on Hive to Hive _user. Hive is the database name and Hive _user is the username. Okay, so first we created database Hive, we created a Hive _user with password ITversity, and then we have granted everything on Hive database to Hive _user. Same thing we have to take care for Woozy. Hive and Woozy are related to Hadoop, whereas the third one, Arman, is related to Reports Manager of Cloudera Management Service. Okay, once we create Woozy database, we want to create the user Woozy _user, and then we want to grant all on Woozy.star to Woozy _user. Uzi.star to Uzi underscore user. Now Hive and Uzi are done. The third one is rman underscore user identified by IT Varsity, and then grant everything on rman.star to rman underscore user. Okay, after performing all the necessary DDLs to get all the users and grants as well as databases, you have to run this flush privileges command, and then you can test connection here. Without creating those databases, users and permissions being granted, this test connection might fail. Make sure you create each of these databases, each of these users, and grant necessary permissions to the users on the respective databases. As the test connections are successful, you can hit on continue. So this is the only major thing which you need to take care at the time of configuration of the components on your cluster after choosing the necessary Hadoop components on it. Here also you don't need to make any changes, just leave the defaults as is and hit on continue. And now the necessary components will be deployed and started on this single node cluster, which includes HDFS, HBase, Yarn, Spark, Hive, Uzi, Impala, and Hue. So most of the tools which are required to explore Hadoop ecosystem are being deployed on this single node cluster. So be patient, it will take time to deploy all these things and start. And once it is done, you will be able to use the cluster without any issues. So most of them are set up except few of the things like Uzi and Impala. We will see where is it going wrong in a moment. So we can actually abruptly abruptly discontinue the current process instead of hitting retry. Just click on this Cloudera manager, say leave page, and then it will go to the Cloudera manager web interface. And here it is complaining about Hue, Impala, and Uzi for some reason. Let's see what is wrong with HDFS, because it is showing some errors here. Okay, most of the errors are related to free space. We can suppress those things. The errors which are related to free space, we can suppress those things. So let us do that, so that we limit the actual errors. Because we have only 50 GB space, we are trying to suppress all the unnecessary errors here. Okay, so anything that is related to free space we can suppress without any issues to actually come to the more critical issues. Okay, so now we will try to start the Uzi first and see where it is failing, because it was failing when we try to start all the services in one shot. Sometimes for no reason it will fail. We will try to see if it is the case, and we will try to just start the Uzi server. If it did not come up, then we will troubleshoot the issue further. So this time Uzi started successfully without any issues. We will start the Impala also. Most likely most of the services will come up without any issues on the single node cluster. Okay, and also we will start Hue to make sure all these services are up and running for our practice purposes going forward, as we will use this one as lab. So still there are some critical health issues which it is complaining. We need to look into those and see whether they can be suppressed. Yeah, we can suppress free space related issues. Close. Hive. For each and every service, this free space issue might pop up. Yeah, again these are free space related issues itself. So click on that service or component of that service and only suppress free space related issues. These canary issues will go away by themselves in some time. Okay, so it will take time. I will suppress all the free space issues and I will come back to this. And also on top of the services, there are issues on hosts also. We can suppress those things also, because most of those issues are again free space related issues themselves, because after installing everything we have only 8 GB storage left. Okay, overall it has only 8 GB, and that's why it is running into this issue, because we missed one step after provisioning the cluster. That is, even though we specify 8 GB, sorry, 50 GB as storage, it is only using 8 GB, because when we actually start this server, start with the CentOS based server, it will only come with 8 GB storage. But we actually provisioned 50 GB when we actually started the whole process. So we have to run a command called resize to fs /dev/xvde and the device name, and hit enter. And now it will actually perform online resize of that. Once it is done, when we run df command, it will show 50 GB instead of 8 GB when we run df-h command. So df-h, now you can see it is 50 GB. So now most of the free space related issues will go by itself. Okay, it will take a while, but they will go away. So after fixing the free space issues, whatever are remaining for HDFS, we will try to resolve. Still most of them are free space related issues itself. They will go away once the Hadoop components actually start seeing that 50 GB storage. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes and then I will resume. You can see it from 7 it has gone down to 3, and most of the services, the errors have gone down significantly, because now each of the service is able to identify that 50 GB storage. Hence over time everything will go away. Okay, we will resume once everything goes away, once every error goes away. So now you can see that most of the stuff have turned into green. Still HDFS is showing 3 critical errors. One is canary, which will be sorted out in a moment. Other one is again related to log files. That one also will go away in a moment. Okay, if it is not going away, you can actually perform restarts of all the services to make sure that it will go away. That you can do it by clicking on this small icon, click on restart, and everything will be restarted on the cluster, which is nothing but all the services that are deployed on the cluster. Okay, once it is restarted, we will see what is going on. So now everything is coming up cleanly. Okay, so everything will come up without any issues. And then as part of the future videos, we have to set up further, we have to perform certain tasks further, so that we have complete self-contained lab to practice for several purposes, and those will be covered as part of future videos. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content on this course. If you like this or want to provide the feedback, please feel free to do so that I can improvise on the content. And if you want to discuss further about big data or certifications, please join my LinkedIn group called ITversity-Big Data or ITversity-Certifications, so that we can discuss going forward. That being said, thank you, bye.